Well, welcome to the show. Week one is in the books. We kicking off week two with a Thursday night game tonight. Um, Cincinnati at Cleveland. So I'm gonna pick them. I'm going through my week two picks on the show. Then I need a do-over, a mulligan on my season predictions from last week because I guess apparently I've been sleeping under a rock. I forgot that it was three wild card teams. So I didn't include that in my season prediction pick from last week. So I'm gonna have to do that over. So I'm gonna have to ask for a mulligan. I'm not gonna change nothing. I'm just gonna add one team per conference for wild card. Um, and of course, I'm gonna talk about the Cowboys. And let's start there. Got some bad weather here, so anything can happen. So I'm gonna try to get through this as quick as possible. So last week game, in my view, was similar to like third preseason game, but they played the whole game. That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like. But it count. It count. So you 0-1 on the season. Um, for lack of a better word, that whole game and their performance was, for lack of a better word, lackadaisical. I mean, boring, plain, vanilla, whatever you want to call it. It was just a lackadaisical performance. And even though they didn't have a preseason and they got to know how to play together and build and be a cohesive unit and all that. I just hate when um he they had a chance to win. Cowboys did have a chance to win. So to be honest, the way the game looked on the first drive, I much rather it had turned out like that and them just getting beat by two scores or just blown out versus having a chance to win, tie or win at the end and just lose. So that's the disheartening part about it. But we can chalk it up to they haven't played together, especially the defense. And and Rams had the advantage because nothing about them changed. Maybe a few personnel, but nothing about them changed. So Rams had the advantage, but it was disappointing because they just played so like a days ago, and they did have a chance to win, and they blew it. Other than that, I'm not really sweating it. Matter of fact, two small things that been irritating me all week. They are so minor. The average person might think they're corny. One thing that been poking me all week is I don't want you got a new coach, so I don't want it to look like the same stuff. Case in point, we knew Aaron Donald was going to be a beast. He's going to win and get pressure. A sack and a half, and we knew that. So they still look like the same old team last year, far as doing the same thing over and over again. If your offensive line, well, at least they didn't. At least they gave the right defensive tackle. Still, at least they gave him some help and didn't let one man get 5 or 6 sacks. But They getting all this pressure. So what you got to do? You got to roll the quarterback out a little bit. You got to roll him out the pocket, move the pocket. They just kept letting the same thing happen, and that just made me have flashback to an era that I thought was over. And the second thing, believe it or not, this is small, but if you, I didn't like when it's so small. Like I said, you probably don't didn't. You probably missed it. I think it was when they had the last drive, got the ball back, opportunity to tie or win the game. CD Lamb is your punt return all game. So on that punt return, when they had the punt, you put another guy back there. That's crushing. That can be confident crushing to that rookie. He had a nice punt return during the game. I think about 18, 20 yards. It was one of the longest punt returns in years when they had said it. Some stat they gave. I can't remember right now. Then you just take him off the field. That don't build confidence. Then, I mean, you put Cedric Wilson back there. He's just 1 year ahead of CD Lamb. Who to say he couldn't wobble or drop the punt? I mean, you didn't put Cooper back there if the coaching staff was thinking I don't want to turn over here, so pull the rookie and put somebody else in. If that was your thinking, why you didn't just put Cooper in the field? Who is Cedric Wilson? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, when he came out 2 or 3 years ago, what was he, an unrestricted free agent or sixth-round pick, something like that? Man, this CD Lamb is a first-round pick. A lot of teams had other needs. He should have been in the top 10. So you don't tell your players, even at the rookie level, that you can't do this. He should have been back there filling that punt, for good, bad, or worse. So those are two things I want to highlight on pulling a rookie out to let somebody else fill the punt. Just something that small can destroy confidence and just not adjusting to what the pass rush was doing. I mean, overall, I think the offensive line played well. I think, yeah, the offensive line played well. But if they was winning, you got to roll this quarterback out or move the pocket. So that took me back to last year, and left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, other than that, it looked like the third preseason game. They had a chance, they couldn't get it done, and we move on. Everybody got to watch their film and build and practice and be ready for this week because you can't go down 0-2. Cannot go down 0-2. So this is a early season task at home. So, and then another thing I'm looking at here is 1-6, now 1-7 record over a certain amount of time last year, and then this game this year in one possession games. That is terrible. That is terrible. I mean, you look back last year, Patriots, Jets. You got this game this year, all together 1-7. So that's not a good record. So offense is pretty much intact, and they got better with CD Lamb. So I expected them to score more than 17 points. Zeke had a good game, and that's the going into the season. Further on in the season, I expect him to have that many touches. That's a good thing for the Cowboys. But Pollard did not get that ball enough. It seems like it's just hard for this team to get that feel. It's like a natural feel in coaching that they don't have. That the last coaching or the last coach didn't have it, and I hope this coach and this staff can develop it. It's like a change of pace type scenario where Zeke wasn't doing bad, but you know that boy Pollard, he be hitting them holes. And he got fresh legs. He's fast, and 2 carries is not enough for him because he can bust one from 75 at any point in the game. So that was enough carries for him. And in the first game like this, first game of the season, where defense don't even though they was playing good, they was tired too. When they don't have that stamina like that, that's the perfect time to do that change of pace, running back in there to bust it for 50, 75 yards. So hopefully they get a better feel for that down the line. But he need more than what I think he had a couple of passes, 5 touches, two rushes, average 5 yards a rush. That's not enough for a Pollard. Too bad about the injuries, serious injuries. Tight end out, middle linebacker out, and swing tackle out. Those was big injuries. But this era is really under the old Mike McCarthy. And I'm hoping that the old McCarthy is still the same. Next player up. And next man up mean next man up. It's not just the same. In the past, the Cowboys had to have their best people, no injuries to even have a chance. And they still lost. Mike McCarthy won the Super Bowl. I think he had over 20 some players that season went to our injury reserve, including Charles Woodson in the Super Bowl. So hopefully that continue. Next man up under Mike McCarthy really mean next man up in those positions. These guys get out there and play. There don't be no terrible drop off because of injuries. I'm really hoping that. Um, so one more thing about the offense. You got Tyron Smith, and you can say he's on decline or whatever. He's still very good. And you got Zach Martin. You got a capable left tackle and a capable center. And you got this rookie. That offensive line, and I think they're gonna get better. They are good enough. They are good enough. Cowboy fans, organization, or whatever become spoiled because at times over the last 5, 6 years, you had a legitimate 5 Pro Bowlers, at least 4 on that line. You don't need all that. Average team around the NFL don't even have one, and they get the job done. So that offensive line is good enough. They're good enough. So we don't need all that no more. Um, defense, defense. I think defense is going to be okay. You know, they started the game running the ball down their throat, but they stopped that. I mean, I think no rusher had over 100 yards, but their total rushing yards was 153. I think that was too much. But I think the defense. Let's just give it time. We got to give this whole operation time because it's new. But you got to win. You got to win. So it's off to Atlanta. Well, Atlanta is coming to Texas. So we'll see. We'll see. So these picks last week, 8-8. Yep, 8-8. Cowboys didn't want it. Detroit didn't want it. Blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter, and Eagles didn't want it. They blew a 17-point halftime lead. So that could have been easily 11 wins for me. But it's 8-8. That's what it is. On my picks, I'm gelling too. I'm gelling like the Cowboys. You know, take them. Gonna take at least the first quarter of the season to see what they are. It's gonna take me just 1 week because I think I'm gonna be on point with my week 2 picks. So let's go. I'm gonna go and pick these games for week 2. Oh, and another thing, third down. If they get to third down, they was 3 or 12. That's not gonna get it. And let me go back to this because as the week went on, and I started seeing more and more highlights of the team, Ravens, Chiefs, the top teams, Seahawks, New Orleans, them the top teams that you have to contend with, Green Bay. The more and more I've seen them, and just all us been in the same boat. Whole NFL been in the same boat. No preseason, no games. How was they able to come out on offense and be that successful? And we're pretty much intact. That. All right, let me go into these people. All right. So we starting this thing off tonight. Well, I must don't have no respect for none of these, either one of these teams. I ain't even write them down. Cincinnati and Cleveland on the Thursday night, week 2 kickoff game. I hate to be unsure myself off over a game like this, but Cleveland is a home team. Cleveland is a mess. Cleveland is a mess. They should win tonight. So give me Cleveland over Cincinnati. I got Tennessee over Jacksonville. I got Tampa Bay over Carolina. I got Pittsburgh over Denver. I would be picking Philly in this spot if they held on and beat the Redskins. But they just looked terrible in that second half. Give me LA Rams to go to Philly over Philly. San Francisco over the New York Jets. Buffalo over Miami. This was a tough one. I went back and forth with this one as well. I picked Minnesota on the road versus Indianapolis. The AFC South is going to get tight. A team can afford to go 0-2, and they can get back in the NFC South, but Minnesota can't afford to go 0-2 because give me Green Bay over Detroit and give me Chicago over the Giants. That's why Minnesota can't afford to go 0-2 because Green Bay and Chicago after Sunday going to be 2-0. This was a tough one to go with. I'm picking Arizona over Washington Redskins, Kansas City over Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore over Houston. This is one I went back and forth with, but um, New England was able to win at home last week. But is that offense developed enough together to score enough points that they're gonna need to score against Seattle? Nope. Give me Seattle Sunday night over New England, and Monday night. This could be a hard fought game, but New Orleans is gonna spoil the Las Vegas Raiders stadium opening, just like Giants spoiled Dallas stadium open when it opened. But the Cowboys could not spoil the Rams new stadium open. So my picks again. Give me. I, I'm taking Cincinnati in this spot right here. I'm sorry. I'm taking Cincinnati. Cincinnati over Cleveland tonight in Cleveland. So Cincinnati over Cleveland. I don't have nothing for Cleveland. Nothing. So Cincinnati over. Give me Cincinnati over Cleveland. Tennessee over Jacksonville. Tampa Bay over Carolina. Pittsburgh over Denver. LA over Philly. San Francisco over Jets. Buffalo over Minnesota. Buffalo over Miami. Minnesota over Indianapolis. Green Bay over Detroit. Chicago over Giants. Arizona over Washington. Kansas City over the LA Chargers. Baltimore versus over Houston. Seattle over New England. New Orleans over Las Vegas. And 1 o'clock game in Texas Stadium. Got the Cowboys and the Falcons. They play together 1 week, right? They watch film. Now they back at work. All right. I fully expect this offense to score double what they at least double what they scored. So I'm looking for 34 points from this offense on Sunday at least, and that will be enough for Cowboys to go 1-1, get their first win of the season. So take Cowboys over Atlanta. All right, real quick, my season predictions. Remember, I picked Cowboys to win the East, Packers to win the North, Saints to win the South, 49ers to win the West. And they in the 0-1 hole already against a divisional opponent. And then I had on my paper Seattle, and I was struggling between the Vikes and the Bucks as to be the second wild card team. And remember, last week you can watch the film. I picked the Vikes. I'm gonna go ahead. So I need to add a third team. Now I was trying to decide. I'm gonna have to go and pick the Bucks because we can. I want to be as fair as possible. Nobody might not ever view this. Nobody may not ever follow me, but it's important in my heart to be fair. And since I was trying to decide between the Vikes and the Bucks, I'm just gonna say the Seattle Vikes and Bucks will be the wild card team. Because if I try to take the Bucks out and pick Cardinals or the Rams, somebody that won, then I would. That's not justice. I was trying to decide between the Vikings and Bucks, so I'm gonna put both of them in there. Okay. And then I still say Cowboys is gonna come out. Remember, I said Cowboys gonna come out the NFC. And then remember, I said Baltimore North, Chief West, Bills East, Titans South. And I said Steelers. And remember, I said I don't trust Texans because they got rid of their number one receiver. You see what Kyler Murray did with that number one receiver he got from Texans. 15 catches. So I got mad at Texans, remember, and I took them out. And I said, I'm gonna go with the Colts. So I got Steelers, Colts, and I need to add one more. So I'm adding the Patriots. They gonna make it as a wild card team. So I added the Bucks in the NFC. I added the Pats. And I don't think either one of them teams as wild card teams will make to the Super Bowl. So my Super Bowl pick is still the Cowboys and the Chiefs. So that's my mulligan. Messing up my picks. Stay safe. I'm out. See you next week.